Hello, everybody. This is Judith from EIT Urban Mobility. We are now in the webinar to explain you more about the topic on hydrogen transition that will be funded as part of the targeted project program. We will start the meeting in 1 minute so that more attendees can join. Okay, hello everybody. Let's start this webinar. I'm Judith from EIT Urban Mobility. I'm responsible for managing the targeted project program under which this topic will be funded. Just to start and remind you that you are being recorded, and this recording will afterwards be published on our call webpage and also on our YouTube channel, so in case you would like to rewatch. Also, at the end of the session, we will have a Q&A. So during this meeting, you can post your questions there, and at the end, we have 15 minutes to answer all these questions. From 12 to 12:45, we will focus on the topic 1, which is focused on the hydrogen transition that Andrea, my colleague, will tell you more about later. But before that, I would like to introduce you to the agenda of the next 45 minutes. So firstly, I will start giving you a bit of an idea of the context in which this topic will be funded, which is the targeted call and the targeted program. Then I will give the floor to Andrea that will tell you more about the topic itself. Then Laura will explain you more about the application and the evaluation process. And to finalize, Andrea will give you a sneak peek into what it would mean if what are the first steps once your project is actually selected. And then the last 15 minutes, of course, the floor is all yours to ask your questions in the Q&A section. So the targeted call. This is the framework in which this topic will be funded. And this targeted call is part of the targeted program, which is one of the main programs of the innovation thematic area here at EIT Urban Mobility. It's a new program. It started only at the beginning of this year, and it has a very specific aim, and it's to allow EIT Urban Mobility to respond quickly to certain things, such as gaps in innovation project portfolio. So if we notice that certain technologies or regions are not covered through our main innovation call, we open targeted topics to address these portfolio gaps. But also if we see during the year that there are any important market failures or there are any emerging technology or trends or external events such as policy changes that we would like to address as rapidly as possible, the targeted program and the linked call and topic launches will be for that exact reason. So that was the why, but what is it exactly? As you can see on the slide, is pretty similar. The framework is pretty similar as the projects that we fund through the main innovation call. So the technology readiness level is also 6-7 to start on the project and ends with 8-9, so a commercial marketable solution or service. We will always focus on a market innovation KPI. And depending on the type of topic and project that we want to fund, the budget and timeline might change, but on average, we can tell you that a project is 12 months and a project between 250 and 350 EIT funding. Now, The targeted call is a permanently open call, so it's open like the main innovation call. And the only difference is that instead of having a very broad scope of thematics that you can apply to, we very much frame the kind of projects that we would like to see to make sure that we address all these portfolio gaps and external events. And it's permanently open. So as a process, the call is always open, but regularly we launch different topics that we would like to fund. And of course, these topics will always be open for 2 months for you to apply, and they will always be publicly announced on time. So that's the how we and the scope of the general targeted project. So on the next slide, I just wanted to emphasize that as part of the targeted projects, we have a very big emphasis, or let's say that these type of projects are mostly for industry and so the commercial side and startups and SMEs. From 2024, almost even more industry. That's why I highlighted it. And of course, depending on the type of solution, we try to include as much as possible or cities as demonstrating partners. And the timeline of the launches of different topics as part of the permanently open targeted call. As you can see, we had a launch in February that was mainly focused on the portfolio gap, waterborne mobility, and the market failure, the large-scale ICT solution for public transport operators. And then in June, we launched 2 other topics, one on healthy cities, a topic that is not really funded anymore under the main innovation call, and a market failure, which is stimulating the demand of hydrogen. So now this is the last launch of this year. We'll close next year, and also next year there will be other topic launches. So in the next slide, you can see the focus on why you are here today, which is the 3rd topic release. So we will fund 5 topics. And in total, for all 5 topics together, we will fund 5 to 8 projects, depending how many quality projects we will get. And we have a 2.5 million for the entire topic release available. The projects differ a lot in terms of funding. For this one specifically, the funding is a bit higher per project because, of course, we understand that for hydrogen and manufacturing, you need a bit of a higher budget compared to the other topics that we would like to fund. So let's check the timeline on the next slides. So today is the 20th of December, which is the info day. So we have today all 5 webinars for all 5 topics. The call was opened the 14th of December, and it will close on the 22nd of February. So we have the evaluation process in the end of February and March, and then the projects will start somewhere in April or May. So having given you a bit of context and understanding where this topic is funded, I will now give the floor to my colleague Andrea, who is our hydrogen expert, and he will tell you more about the scope of this specific topic. Thank you.
So thank you, Judith. Thank you for your introduction. And thank you, everybody, to be here. Maybe some of you already know me because I had the opportunity to exchange some information about this topic. So for the other, my role here is to explain a bit more, to enter a bit more in the technical details of the hydrogen call, bridging the transitional gap. So the relevance of this call. Basically, we know that hydrogen has a great potential to become the new energy fuel for the future. But despite this potentiality, only 10% or even less of the project reach the final investment decision right now. This is data from Hydrogen Council that has been published a few months ago, and I'm sure that most of you already know this data. And the reason basically is because there are a set of programmatic challenges that hydrogen projects are facing in the short term. What we call in the scope of this topic, hydrogen transitional period. So, based on our experience as EIT Urban Mobility dealing with hydrogen partners and projects, we have regrouped these challenges in four main groups, basically. The reason are because the cost of competitiveness of green hydrogen, of course, the lack of hydrogen infrastructure in the cities, the absence of standard and regulation, and final, the need for enhanced performances of hydrogen vehicles. So basically, in order to respond to these challenges, we have identified four main, what we call in the scope of this topic, challenge areas. So candidates should be able to demonstrate that basically their solution can address at least one or even more of these challenge areas. So the first one is the improving the performance of hydrogen vehicles. The second challenge area is facilitating early diffusion of hydrogen infrastructure for mobility. The challenge area 3 is overcoming regulatory hurdles and speed up the product deployments, even if there is a lack of standard or code. And then the challenge area 4 is the reduction of cost hydrogen technology for its adoptions. So you have the chance in the template that you are going to fulfill in order to submit your application to clarify to us which of these areas your solution is going to be addressed to address basically. And this is under the specific topic question that you have right here. So this is the technical scope. In terms of budget and duration of and project duration, basically we have allocated around 1 million euros for this specific topic. Ideally, we hope to have 2 awarded consortium. This meaning that each consortium can request up to 500,000 euros. This is the top we can fund per consortium, and we always ask to the consortium that can co-fund at least the 33% of what is requiring. This is an Horizon Europe rule, basically. This meaning that if you are going to ask for 500,000, that is the top, then the consortium itself have to co-fund with 165. That is more or less the 33% of what you are requiring. And the duration is basically the project is expected to be to have a life of 12 months, extendable to 18 in case that you need homologation for or a specific certification for the commercialization of your solution. So, which are the mandatory requirements that we ask to all the proposal? Basically, to have consortia from that are composed of at least 2 partners from 2 different European countries. The consortium must consist of no more than 4 partners. The co-funding rate, that is 33% mandatory. And finally, that you should use Plaza as a tool to apply to this call, basically. We have some mandatory KPIs that for us are I would say, commercial milestones. Because as Judith commented at the beginning of this presentation, targeted program is focused also on the commercialization of your solutions. So we have two mandatory KPIs that all the application need to be complied with. The first one is the marketed innovation, meaning that at the end of the project, you should be able to eventually commercialize this solution. So the solution should be ready to be commercialized. This is the requirement. And the other requirement is a new KPI that we have introduced for this specific call, that is tested engineering innovation, meaning that in the frame of the project, so before the end of the project, you should be able to demonstrate throughout a test that can be accomplished in depending of the type of the solution in a public realm, such as a city. That is the traditional, the standard way for us to check that your solution is compliant with what you have stated in your proposal. And this is, for example, can be done involving engaging a city inside the consortium and then ask her to eventually take a period of time to test, to demonstrate your solution in the public realm, or eventually, if this is not possible because your solution is especially focused on manufacturing, so you can eventually use a laboratory or university laboratory or private premises, I would say. But you have to demonstrate that you have performed a test and your solution is compliant with the characteristic that you stated in your proposal, basically. Additional KPIs are positively evaluated. So you have in the call a list of additional KPIs, apart those two that are mandatory, that you can eventually include in your proposal to get extra point. And then there are specific requirements. This is my last slide for explaining the specific topic. So those requirements are not mandatory, but still are important because you can get additional extra scoring in case you are able to comply with at least with one or even more of these requirements. So basically, the requirements are that if the consortia include at least one company registered in a European risk country, this is a plus. Also, all the proposals that include the homologation or the certification to perform the tests. So we, as EIT Urban Mobility, we are sure that your solution is ready to be commercialized in case we want to. And then there are some proposals that I would say of special interest for us, and this is why we call it top priority solution. And those proposals are the four that we mentioned here. Basically, the TP1 is that you are developing in the frame of this call a transportable and easy to deploy hydrogen refueling station, or technology for retrofitting existing fossil fuel vehicles to hydrogen, or technology that increase the efficiencies of the fuel cell manufacturing processes. And the last one, technology to reduce the cost of hydrogen transportation. So as you can see, each of them goes in the direction of the main scope of the call, that is technology for the transitional phase, no? That is the next 5 to 10 years. And finally, if the proposal offer equity share to EIT Urban Mobility in an existing startup or a specific company that will be created for the commercialization of the solution, this will be considered also as a point for giving additional scoring to the proposal. So I am finished my presentation here, so I let the floor to Laura, that is going to explain you the application process.
Yeah, well, good morning, everyone. So I will explain a little bit how this process is going to be in the Plaza tool, which is our tool, internal tool for submission of proposals in the EIT. First of all, I would like to recommend to do some steps previously to submit the proposal and to do it as soon as possible. First of all, if any of the entities involved in the project has never participated in a European project with European funding, I would recommend you to obtain the PIC number as soon as possible because it takes some time to get this number. This number is important to be able to ask for European funding, and it can be get in the European funding and tender opportunities portal. Also, I would recommend for these companies that haven't worked with us before to register themselves in the EIT Urban Mobility Plaza tool. We will publish soon some guidelines for applicants, so you can have some like a manual to help you in all this process. Okay, so once you enter into the submission tool, you will see all these tabs. Basically, these tabs is where you need to explain what's your project about, the project plan, the milestone, deliverables, all related to the project. I will highlight some of the tasks that you need to fulfill. For example, in make sure that in the tab 0, start here, you select the correct area and segment. The area is innovation. The intended execution period is permanently open targeted call. And the segment is permanently open targeted call first cutoff, because we are doing the first cutoff now. And the duration of the project must go from the 1st of April next year till the end of March 1 year later. I also want to highlight this tab, the 3B project specific info, because there are some general questions related to the targeted project, or let's say the fit of your proposal in the targeted project, and also some specific questions related to this specific topic that we are discussing today. First of all, you will see in the three, there's general questions like this one, the state of the art, technology readiness level. And then you will see that there are some questions, and it says for topic 1, topic 2, topic 3. If you are applying for the hydrogen topic, this is topic 1, and you will need to answer only these questions. Just forget about topic 2 to 5, but make sure that you are answering the question for topic 1 because it's important for the scoring of the proposal. Then if there is any other additional document that you need to include in your proposal, such as letter of intent or something similar, it's also here in this tab in the 3B project specific info. Well, some tips from our side to help you in this process is, first of all, don't wait until the last moment to get the PIC number or the Plaza registration, because as I said before, it takes some time to get it. Please double check the eligibility criteria of this specific topic, because every topic in the targeted call have different requirements. So be sure that you are addressing the mandatory KPIs, the minimum of co-funding, the minimum number of partners in the consortium, or the maximum partners of the consortium, things like that. We think that reading the evaluation criteria and the strategic fit can help you to write a good proposal, because knowing how are we going to evaluate the proposal can help you in focusing it. And finally, don't forget about answering the topic-specific evaluation question, because as we are going to see afterwards, it's one of the things that we are going to evaluate in the first place. Now let's talk about the evaluation process. What are we going to do once the project is submitted? There are 4 stages in the evaluation process. Once the topic is closed, by the end of February, we start a process of about 1 month to evaluate the different proposals that we receive. The first part, the first step is the eligibility. Our PMO will check the proposal and check and see if it accomplish all the eligibility criteria, such as the eligibility of the applicants, the co-funded rate of more than 33%, all the eligibility related to the topic, as Andrea explained before, like the number of partners, type of partners, etc. Don't worry about if something is missing. The PMO just will contact you and you will have 5 days to complete any missing information or correct anything that can be done differently. Then we move to the strategic fit. In this stage, we have 3 external evaluators to go through your proposal. And first of all, as a go, no-go stage, they will evaluate if the proposal fits in the urban mobility strategy. Also, if it fits in the topic, and also they will evaluate these topic-related questions that we mentioned before. And this proposal needs to get at least 3 out of 5 points, all of the 3 criteria, to move on to the next step, which will be the full evaluation. In the full evaluation, the 3 external evaluators will go through the excellence. That means that they will evaluate the novelty of the technology versus the state of the art. How feasible is it for this technology also to arrive to a TRL 9, for example, during the time frame of the project. They will also evaluate the impact of the outcomes and the KPIs of the project in society and in cities. And finally, they will evaluate the implementation of the project itself. That means that they will evaluate the coherence of the project plan, the allocation of resources and tasks, the what else? Well, the project plan itself, at the consortium, if the roles are very well defined and they are complementary between the partners. This part needs to get at least 60 points to move into the final step. And it has a weight of the 80% of the total score of the project. So if you have more than 60 points, you move to the portfolio selection. In this stage, this is the final stage of the evaluation process. There is a selection committee formed by members of the management board of the EIT Urban Mobility, and they have up to 20 points to give to the proposals, depending on how it's aligned with our business portfolio and how it's aligned and what's the track record of the entities involved within the EIT Urban Mobility. So if the proposal arrives at this point, then we will start another 2 to 4 weeks of due diligence and conditions clearance, and we can ask for minor changes. If the proposal has not made it till that point, or is it arrived until this point but is not awarded, then the proposal goes to a reservation list, like a waiting list, in case we get more additional funding for this specific topic. And that's it from my side. Now I give the floor again to Andrea.
Thank you, Laura. Okay, so in this small section, we explain what is meaning to be awarded of some project. So membership and commercial partnership. So basically, as EIT Urban Mobility, we ask that all the awarded consortium can be able to discuss with us in some way a return on investment. So basically, for each consortium, each project has to define at least one commercial partner that is responsible for the FSM, that is the abbreviation for financial sustainability model. So we can discuss a different type of commercial partnership. The 3 here are the most common. So a general commercial partner, basically, equity portfolio partner in which we enter, for example, in a company as shareholder, or the creation of a new company or spin-off in the frame of the project itself. So what is important is that in your proposal, the commercial partner must be clearly identified among the different partners that are going to that are included in the consortium itself. So for the FSM, usually we reach an agreement before the submission with the commercial partner itself. If this is not possible, or still we can eventually discuss after, I would say, the submission. So this is true for the commercial partner. For the rest of the partners, basically what we ask to the other partner is a membership for the duration of the project. So each of the partner should become member of our network. This means that can basically benefits of opportunities and also participation in the events that we organize, and also of course can benefit also all the services that we can provide in terms of additional partnership or additional opportunity with other call, for example. There are 3 different types of membership. Gold partner, silver partner, and one specific for cities. There are slight difference between one to another in terms of benefit, in terms of I would say fees for membership. In our webpage you can find all the details depending of your so depending of the type of membership, so you can see which is the best that can fit for you. But this is important that each member, if awarded, is requested to become part of our networking. And so basically this last slide is a sort of recap. So what to expect? So getting started, partner validation, legal documentation, and commercial agreement. Then during the project phase, the product, the service or solution development, the demonstration as part of the tests of the KPIs that I have mentioned before. This can be achieved in a real life urban setting, or eventually in lab testing, depending on the type of the solution that you are developing in the frame of this call. And then as final step at the end of the project, a final reporting, the project output and deliverables and KPIs. We will check that all this information that you are going to basically you claim in your submission that you are going to produce. We will check that effectively is there at the end. Just remind that in case you have some doubt during the submission, during the preparation of the submission, you can always rely on us and send us a specific question, and we'll be happy to help you to finalize the submission. This is our commitment to you. Well, since there are no other questions, I think, Judith, we can finalize the meeting right now. So thank you everybody to have shared your time with us. We hope that this meeting will be helpful to you to make your proposal, to present your proposal. And again, in case of any doubt, please contact us, and we will be happy to provide you an answer as soon as possible. Thank you. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.